Hello and welcome to the Sir David Wallace Sports Centre here on campus at the University of Loughborough. My name is Alex Chinnery. I will shortly be joined by victorious Boswell's Libero, Cheryl Manfredi Cruz, here for the under-15 girls national final. Richmond and Newcastle Staffs. Richmond in the dark blue, Newcastle Staffs in the dark blue and white. This could be an intriguing matchup. England junior internationals on both sides of the floor. Richmond missing two really key players through injury. England international Snow Dixon, along with Aisha Morgul, two starting outside hitters. So this team will not be suiting up. They both have back injuries. But it will be a case of, can anyone stop Richmond's two middles? Grace Owen Crompton and Daphne Chincha have not been stopped by anyone all season. Can they continue their reign of terror in this one? Whereas for Newcastle Staffs, Bella Bradshaw and Izzy Roberts form a two-headed monster on the pin. If those two can get going, then Staffs have a chance in this game. Our starting lineups just coming out right now for Richmond. See them on the floor. And now time for Newcastle Staffs to head up onto the court. A number of this Richmond squad were part of the successful under-16 girls team, winning yesterday 3-1 against the South Bucks. Now they have an opportunity to come out and do the double in this one. Staffs and Richmond ready to go. One really interesting wrinkle in this one. Lola Bryant, number 13 for Richmond, usually an opposite, starting on the outside here. I expect Rika Hashimoto and Nehir Akotar to take up the majority of the passing reps, but if Staffs can pin Bryant a little bit, they might be able to get some success in this one. Charlotte Keane, daughter of head coach Jess Keane, back and ready to get us underway with the serve here in this under-15 girls national final. Keane, left-handed float serve, finds Hashimoto. Warabi comes out, takes that ball, free ball over from Richmond. Passed in by Chadwick Brown, the libero, goes out to Bella Bradshaw, who tries to find the swing down the line, can't get it to go, and Richmond take the first point. Gigi Fiali in and ready to serve. Another lefty float serve from the setter. Chadwick Brown can't keep it in play, chasing it deep. And Richmond start 2 points up here. Fiali again, on to Chadwick Brown, perfect pass. Keane sets the middle. Crompton Owen Crompton can't get it to go. Free ball over. Passed in. Keane to Bradshaw. Bella Bradshaw with the swing, but well defended by Warabi. Set to the outside. Bryant, free balls it over. Chadwick Brown goes out. Izzy Roberts, left-handed swing. Defended well by Rika Hashimoto. And now Zach Latar. She swings, but it goes wide, and Staffs are on the board. Lots of defensive touches here in this game. It's going to be a defensive battle. Both of these teams really scrappy, really good at making sure that ball doesn't hit the floor. Bradshaw serves deep. Pass up from Hashimoto. They go out to Bryant. She swings hard cross court, and Keane can't get that one under control. Lola Bryant starting this game brightly for Richmond. Bryant back to serve. Floats it in on Chadwick Brown. And the Newcastle Staffs libero cannot keep that one alive. Great float serve from Lola Bryant. Her third point of this game already. Bryant this time on to Simpson. It's a good pass. They go back to Roberts, the left-hander, and she is able to make that ball land in the middle of the court. Dad Will on the bench as the assistant coach. Izzy following in his footsteps, playing here on Cup Finals weekend. Sinska can't get a serve to go. It hits the top of the netband and rolls down. Richmond 5-2, and Gracie Owen Crompton back to serve. Has a wonderful float serve when hit correctly. Really, really tough to pass. She hits it in deep, but Simpson is up to it. They go back to the outside hitter. She finds the ball deep, and Owen Crompton can't get the dig. Staffs settled down a little bit now and starting to side out well. Roberts, great jump float serve. Coming in, and Bryant struggling in that pass. We spoke about that at the start of the game. Lola Bryant, not normally a passer, usually plays on that opposite position. Couldn't get it there. Roberts again, finds Bryant again and creates some chaos for Richmond. And they manage to scramble it, and it just goes over. Charlotte Keane puts it tight. Point to Richmond. It's like Murray Jones was in the net for Newcastle Staffs on that tight ball. Amber Warabi, newly called up to the England under-18 training squad, float serves it long. Bradshaw with the pass. Roberts out the back row, can't get it to go. And Richmond are now 3 points up in this one. Amber Warabi serves onto Chadwick Brown. Passed up, but a free ball has to be given over. Richmond chance to play. Gigi Fiali with the set, goes wide, and Akwatar able to make sure that that ball goes into the corner. So many bright young talents on show here today, this weekend. As Warabi again, float serves it deep. Staff scramble and get it over the net. Hashimoto, as that free ball goes out. Akwatar swings down the line. Great dig from Bella Bradshaw. Out to Simpson, and she can't get that ball to go over the net. Richmond open up a commanding 9-4 lead. Warabi Passed up well by Chadwick Brown. Definitely the service target for Richmond early on. Bradshaw can't get her swing to go. If it had landed in, it would have scored. Richmond weren't tracking it back fully, but just couldn't quite get that swing to drop into the court. Now Warabi again, long service run here. She'd been flirting with that baseline throughout the run. This one just drifting too long, but the damage done. 5-point lead opened up for Richmond here. Simpson serves, and that one doesn't go either, just drifting too wide at the sideline. Aklatar back now for Richmond. Passed up by Simpson. Great work from Charlotte Keane to find Izzy Roberts, but she can't get the swing to go over the net. Timeout called for Newcastle Staffs. 7 points the gap early on here in set one. And Richmond doing what they need to do to go out and be successful. We are back. Nehir Aklatar on the service line for Richmond. Chadwick Brown, perfect pass. Keane with the setter dump, but it stays alive. Tuncha able to get the tip over the block and score. Both these Richmond middles have been so effective throughout the whole competition. All season long, they've just been able to score. They've been the same in the under-16 final as well. And now we see them in the game for the first time here. Bradshaw, great reception. Gets the chance to swing. Dies a little bit inside. She's able to play into the corner well. Tip ball from Tuncha. And Staffs just unable to scramble and pick that ball up. Right now, Newcastle Staffs just unable to get anything going with their passing unit and their side-out offense, as another ace for Aklatar off the hands of Izzy Roberts. Great pass up from Izzy Roberts. The ball dies a little bit inside, and Bradshaw has to play it over as a free ball. Goes out to Lola Bryant. Her swing dug well by Chadwick Brown, and it loops over the net, landing on the Richmond side. We love a libero kill. And Chadwick Brown, she was asked to lock in the chat, and she's locked in and scored a point for her team. Serve over. Played up by Tuncha. Richmond scrambling here. Roberts. Chance to go. They go to the middle. Wisniewska plays it deep. Warabi unable to get that ball up. And Wisniewska doing what Staffs need her to do, which is put that ball on the floor, get some points. They have to start winning some points here on serve to claw back this deficit. Another middle, Mari Jones. Passed up, it was an overpass from Rika Hashimoto, and Wisniewska again is there to just put that ball back onto the floor. Serve over from Jones. Bryant unable to hit, but Hashimoto flying across the floor to keep it alive. Keane. Again, Bradshaw just not able to take a swing on that set. The middles get involved. Tincher gets involved. The point is over. Tincher again, float serves into the net. Just unable at the minute to get anything going. Here now, Keane, that left-handed float serve. Hashimoto passes it up. Bryant swings, but is blocked by Wyszynska. Richmond just struggling a little bit in this rotation. Keane, float serves deep, too far. Great tracking from Hashimoto. And Richmond moves 7 points clear here. Gigi Fiali back to serve for Richmond. Comes up, left-handed float deep. Chadwick Brown gets it under control. It's a set to the middle. Wyszynska causes some chaos, but Bryant has the opportunity to swing. And again, she can't get that swing to go. Lola Bryant just struggled the last couple of points here. And Richmond suddenly only leading by 6. They've led by as much as 10 in this set. Simpson serves deep. Well handled by Hashimoto. They set to the middle. Gracie Crompton with the swing. Free ball back from Staffs. They've contained the middles quite well, but they go back to Gracie again. And again, the dig is made. Out to Simpson with the swing, and she can't get it to land in court. Richmond doing such a good job staying alive, trying to get these middles into the game, but right now the connection just not quite there with Fiali and the two middles. Haven't been able to see the fireworks that we've seen from them so far in this competition. Bryant back to serve. Great serve into the seam, but really well handled by Simpson. Tipped by Wyszynska. Richmond keep it alive, but they'll have to free ball it back over. Bella Bradshaw with a pass in. Set from Keane, back to Izzy Roberts, but she is blocked by Aklatar for Richmond. Bryant again, float serve in. Really well passed again by Simpson. Bradshaw out the back row, finally gets the chance to have a big swing on a ball. Bryant now returning the favour. That back row swing. Keane going back to Bradshaw again, but unable this time to get that ball to sneak over the net and into somewhere she can make a play. Richmond now leading by 9 once again. They're into the 20s. A chance to make the first blood of this final, but Lola Bryant misses her serve into the net. That brings Wyszynska to the service line for Staffs. And Murray Jones back onto the court for the Staffordshire Bay side as Wyszynska with that little hybrid-y type serve, bringing the passes forward. We've spoken about that as a theme all weekend in these women's games. Passers are not comfortable having to take a step forward, and it's a great way to score points. Wyszynska again, causing them out of system play. Aklatar with the tip. And that's another big theme. Another big theme of this weekend. When the middles are in, when they've served, the tip coming over the top, making the middle have to play defense. It's something we've seen in all the finals. It's a great way to make sure you score. And Grace Crompton, showing Crompton can't get that to go. just unable to clear the net with that serve. Substitution coming in for Newcastle Staffs. Jessica Simpson makes way. Vivian Burke, number 22, coming in. Can play libero, can play outside. Is a libero on... Oh, sorry, it's not a libero today, obviously. Roberts serves deep. They go to Warabi, and Amber Warabi can't get that swing to go over the net. And Newcastle Staffs cut the gap to 6 points. Left-handed float serve from Izzy Roberts. 6-6 is a tough distance to serve, and that one goes long, as I'm just about to be joined here at the end of this set by victorious Boswell's libero, Cheryl Manfredi-Cruz. She's just gathering herself as she gets up here. Staff scrambling in this point. Now Richmond having to scramble off that free ball. Bradshaw passes the ball in. Go to Murray Jones. Good swing, but well defended by Bryant. And net touch on the Richmond side. The gap back at 6. Richmond in control. Yeah. And it looks like that change that was made before being reversed. Jessica Simpson coming back onto court. Vivian Burke comes out into the corner. (22-16). Serve comes over, but that serve can only land in the middle of the net. And now Richmond just 2 points away from taking the first set of this under-15s final. And the point will go. They tried to call the timeout in, but it's too late. Wonder if we will see a time delay yellow card at the end of this point. But Bradshaw able to make Warabi have to play. They go to Bryant. Is that ball up? Keane again. Bradshaw not being able to get an attack off, but it's a really smart two-handed push deep into the corner. Free ball comes from it. Keane with the setter dump. Fiali has to play defense. They're out of system. Warabi out the back row. Great swing down. Bradshaw, great opportunity to play here. Richmond struggling. Now, can someone put the ball on the floor here? They go out to Bradshaw. Again, the two-handed push deep to the corner. Again, Richmond are good enough to keep it up. Bryant able to make the play. Set to the middle. Free ball able to secure it again here. What a point this is. Set a dump. Chadwick Brown keeps it alive. Keane goes to Roberts out the back row. Great swing. Great dig from Aklatar. They go to the middle and Tincha. Staff's still scrambling somehow. And then some confusion means that Richmond win this point, and they have set point at the end of this first set. We will take a timeout, which gives me the break I need to properly welcome in Cheryl Manfredi-Cruz. Cheryl, congratulations on taking a gold medal in the under-18s final. How are you feeling? Yeah, that was some game that you just played out there on the floor. We were having a lot of fun talking it through, but now this one, we're seeing this Richmond team be dominant all year. They've got two middles that really no one's been able to stop. How would you go about stopping them as a libero yourself?
You see, I think what's really important to defend middles is staying in your base position and just being still on the movement. If you're moving, you're going to lose all control of the ball. We
saw that a couple of times from Evelyn Chadwick Brown in that point. Great insight as always. Set point to Richmond here, the chance to draw first blood in this under-15 girls final. They're here, Aklatar, back and ready to serve. Substitution coming in for Newcastle Staff. Murray Jones coming out. Daisy Delgado coming in. Staffordshire base side. Great serve into the seam, and after that extended break, it's an ace for Neher Aklata. Chadwick Brown has struggled at times today in the past, but others have looked really, really good. If she can find some consistency in this, the rest of that team will start to feel the base and build from there.
You see, I think a really important thing to notice on the Richmond team is that they have lost one of their pin hitters, number 19, Aisha Morgul, due to injury. So I think it's really interesting to see how they're still dominating this game, even with the loss of one of their pin hitters. But still anyone's game.
Yeah, being without Aisha and Snow as well, both out with injuries is really tough. But we're seeing people step up for this Richmond team today.
I think it's also a very good achievement for the staffs. I think this is their first National Grand Prix final. That's very impressive. It's good to see these teams building up and more competition entering the sport. It's slowly going to build up, and soon, hopefully, volleyball will be England's national sport. But maybe in a couple years' time.
Maybe one day.
One day.
We can hope. Yeah, really interesting to see right now for staffs. They've got to try and get Bella Bradshaw into the game. When she's able to get the ball with enough height, she's able to go and get the swing on it. She's got so much power that she just hasn't been able to express so far in this game.
Yeah, a lot of it is the event itself. I think you do have to take a moment to get used to the crowd, the noise, the commentating. I think it's a lot. So I think this set may potentially be way closer than the first set because they're starting to understand the flow of the ball, the temperature. It's all contributing factors that you don't experience in previous rounds. As well, I think I'm seeing a lot of physicality in the staffs, quite tall players for an under-15s final.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good volleyball. I think the quality of the volleyball at this age group is so much better than it has been in years past.
Yeah.
And the development that we're seeing younger and younger is really, really
100%.
great. I mean, it's great for me to see.
100%. The fact that they're at this level in the under-15s, it's so exciting to imagine in 3 years' time when they've all aged out and they're in the under-18s, what we're going to be watching.
Oh, absolutely. And lucky enough to get to work with some of these athletes on a national team basis, and some of the characters that are on this court are going to go a long, long way in this game.
We can see some technical talk from the Richmond coach, saying how to dig. I think from what I've noticed I had to come in at the end of the first set, but there's a lot of composure on the court. We're not really seeing a lot of tears or anything like that, which is really, really important into winning the final.
Yeah, managing those emotions is really, really tough, right? We saw it for you guys there. You losing the third set, and in that fourth set, 8 championship points, I think, over the course of the game, and trying to manage the emotions in those moments is really hard.
Yeah, but that's also something that comes with experience, and we do have 2 experienced players on the Richmond side. So we have number 9 Chansa, number 16, who have played in under-16 finals already. So maybe that's what's helping if they're leading the team and saying how to keep their emotions down.
Change for Richmond, Isabel Harrison on as a setter, a little bit more of a net presence there. Maybe has a little bit of a better connection with these middles for Richmond. They want to try and get that going offensively. Brother Ollie will be playing for the under-18 men in their national final later this afternoon as well.
Funnily enough, the mum is a middle as well. She's actually very good as well, Jill Harrison.
Serve over, well passed by Chadwick Brown. Great swing from Wyszynska in the middle. Harrison comes in, good setup there. Brian, was it blocked or was it for? It has been given as 4 touches there. There was no block touch on that ball. Really, really good composure from the referees there. Just taking that little bit of time to confirm what they saw, make the call. That way no call is made wrong, and you haven't got to play and let the play. The play is organised by itself. The referee's doing a really good job.
The referees are doing such a good job, especially with such competitive juniors.
Great serve there, Bella Bradshaw. We said that she has to start making an impact on this game if staffs are going to be successful, and now she's really pushing in to start this second set. Bradshaw again, this one goes deep and it just goes too long.
Really like to see that the staffs are pushing the serve and not being scared to play with power. I think that's a really important thing for them to do in these finals.
And Lola Bryant now, serve for Richmond. And her serve just goes into the top of the net band. Just seeing a little bit of those nerves maybe coming back in, especially if you're Richmond. Now that it's started the exact way you want it to, suddenly the pressure to win comes on really, really strong.
Exactly. But also, Richmond should be playing with less pressure because they're not the team that's chasing right now. But that's hard to remember because when you have high expectations for yourself, you lose the fact that you don't always have to be in the lead.
As Vichinska comes off after missing her serve, and we see Gracie Owen Crompton back at the service line. Serve goes in, up to Murray Jones, dug well by Owen Crompton. They go out to Aklatar. Dug well by Bradshaw now. Izzy Roberts, chance to swing. Left-handers dug by Lola Bryan. Comes back, free ball over Staffs. Now they have the chance to play. They go back to Murray Jones in the middle, but that ball dug up again there, but unable to be saved by Isabel Harrison in the net. Real opportunity now for Staffs. They open up a 2-point lead early on in this one.
Really good defensive plays on both sides of the net.
Izzy Roberts, left-handed float serve, can't get it to go over. She's someone that when that serve goes over and in, it can move around so much. Just hasn't been able to quite get it where she wants it today.
The heat in the hall as well, it causes the ball to float more, go longer.
Warabi, what a serve that is. Phenomenal, bringing the passes forward. And an ace to bring Richmond back onto level terms. A new call up to the England training squad, Amber Warabi. Really excited to get to work with her. Same again, great serve over. Chance for Staffs to play. And Jess Simpson able to go up and get the kill off her own pass.
But like that lays more with a preparation error more than the blocking itself. The preparation leads to the blocking not being shoulder to shoulder, harder to defend.
Simpson over, scramble from Hashimoto, and Richmond aren't able to keep that ball alive. We've seen a lot in these junior games this weekend. Teams starting very, very deep in the court on reception. Can make it really hard if that ball's served in short, right? Goes again, Hashimoto up. Isabel Harrison just not able to get that ball out where Aklatar wants it. And suddenly, Staffs have opened up a 3-point lead and a timeout called by Richmond head coach Francesca Secchi.
Volleyball is a game so strongly dependent on serve and serve reception. You can get served off the court, or you can have such a strong reception unit that you can just play that offense over and over again. So I think here we're seeing Staffs really pushing it with their serves, and Richmond starting to crack a bit under the pressure of the service.
I worked with a really great Slovenian coach, and one of the things he said to me, volleyball as a game is serve, pass, chaos. That's the game.
It's a good saying. It's nice to see that injured players are still supporting their teams.
Serve over from Simpson to get us underway. Harrison tries to get that set out, but again, it's just not quite where they need it to be. And the set of change is coming. Gigi Fiali coming in.
Maybe starting off the set with a different set to establish that connection, and introducing Harrison in the second set may have been a difficult change for the attackers.
Simpson serving over again. Hashimoto keeps them in system, goes towards Tuncha. Bradshaw set out to Roberts. Richmond able to keep it alive though. Great swing, good defensive touch, but unable to just keep that one up. A lot of balls being swung into zone 6 to start this set off. Just really tough to beat this Richmond team at zone 6. Got to try something different now, right?
Yeah, I think maybe staying deep in 6, moving your defense around the attackers.
Bradshaw passes it in. Keane sets up to Murray Jones. Richmond keep it alive. Warabi swings deep into the corner. Simpson takes a standing swing. Richmond keep it alive, playing in transition. They go to Lola Bryant, who finds the gap in the block. A wonderful swing from the Richmond outside hitter.
Watching points like that, it's so hard to remember that these girls are 13 to 15 years old. The level is so high.
Served over, picked up well by Chadwick Brown. Murray Jones having a swing, and now Richmond having a scramble and play. Hashimoto puts the free ball over. Staff's chance to go. Keane sets out towards Bradshaw, but it's just not where the ball was needed to be, and Bradshaw can't find the corner of the court. There's got to be a lot of nerves when you're on this stage for the first time, right? And I think for setters especially, it can play havoc with how you set the ball.
Yeah, but that's the problem, because setters control the game. They're the ones that translate the defense and the reception into an offense.
Warabi, great swing, but Staff's equal to it. Bit of a miscommunication. Chance to play in transition. They go up to Tuncha, and when she gets that opportunity to swing all year long, it's just resulted in a point to Richmond like it did there.
I'm so impressed by some of these upcoming players. Tunsa has been in the game for quite a while, but I'm especially impressed with Amber Wannabe, number 27. I think she's doing amazing, especially for this being her first Grand Prix finals.
Bradshaw finally has a chance to swing. Richmond keep it alive, almost. But finally, Bella Bradshaw getting into the game a little bit on the offensive end. Staffs need to get that ball nice and high out to her so that she can take a chance to have that swing. Murray Jones, the middle for Staffs. Pass goes up, Lola Bryant, chance to swing, and that swing is long. Staffs back in the lead again. 2 points the margin. Jones, Bryant with a great reception. Tuncha with the tip over the top of the block. Simpson tried to roll that ball in, but could only find the top of the net.
I feel like this is the time for the setter and the Staffs to start looking to Bradshaw for a side out. I think with her front court, she's a very safe bet. It should be a good release for the Staffs as a team.
And the serve from Daphne Tuncha into the top of the net. Chance now for Staffs to come out and attack. They're 2 points ahead. Left-handed setter Charlotte Keane going up and ready to serve. 3 attackers in the front row for the next 3 rotations. And the serve goes into the net. Serve goes over from Fiali, but it goes long. Bradshaw back to serve now for Staffs. Goes up, hits a hard float serve into the corner of the court. Great set to the middle, but a great dig from Evelyn Chadwick Brown. Free ball back over. Chance for Staffs to play. Chadwick Brown sets Bradshaw, but Bradshaw can't get that ball over the net. Tough
Amazing
one
defense.
because they're giving her the right options now. Chadwick Brown's having a really good game as a setter. Every time Staffs are out of system, she's putting up hittable balls. They're just not being able to make the plays.
I think that might come down to the nerves of getting it out.
Brian, oh, that ball was sailing long. But this Newcastle Staffs reception unit, which has been struggling at times today, struggles again here.
She did have the right intention of tracking the ball back.
Yeah.
It was just poor execution.
Serve comes over and in. Simpson plays that up, gets it back to have a swing on, and that swing goes deep and out for Newcastle Staffs. Serve from Bryant. Passed up well by Chadwick Brown. Free ball comes over. Hashimoto. Fiali with the set out to Warabi. Warabi swings, but it's well defended by Bradshaw. Chance now for Staffs. Bryant with the dig though for Richmond. They go back to Warabi again. Hell of a dig from Charlotte Keane, but it's an overpass, and that leaves it for Grace Owen Crompton to go up and put the ball on the floor.
Very good attack by Owen Crompton there.
As you say, it's great to see players from all ages of Richmond's club there. Club director Andy Hopper as well involved, as that serve sailing long to cut the Richmond lead to just a point. Same with Newcastle Staffs. You see people from all throughout their club. Women's MVL head coach Rich Guest down there in the crowd as well. Fiali set a dump into the middle of the court. Great court vision there, especially with the middle in.
Very intelligent move.
We've started to see that a lot at the top level in the Super League as well, where teams are really taking on the middles when they serve, making sure that ball comes over quick and trying to get the quick point out of it.
I think that that's a very good thing to do. I think that middles in a defensive position is something to utilise and something to make a point out of.
As a Richmond ace, again short into the middle of the court from Gracie Owen Crompton, gives them a 3-point lead in this one.
I think we should take a minute to appreciate the setters on both sides. Charlotte Keane and Georgia Finale. I think they're both playing really good games. Really clean sets, really good hands, giving good direction to the ball. I think they're both doing an amazing job.
Yeah, two young setters that one's been on the edge of the England pathway, and Gigi has been invited in moving forward. Both, as you say, having really, really good games so far. Oh my word. As on the other court, one of the Legends players has just hit a serve that has flown up into the balcony and almost hit the great John Cornish on the forehead. That stream available on the Volleyball England YouTube page as well on the other court. The men's shield final between Legends and Dark Star. Currently in the first set, it is 12 all. Here we go then, Gracie Owen Crompton. Served over, great pass up. Ball swung on by Amari Jones, but Richmond have a chance to play in transition. Aklatar swings, dug well by Bradshaw. Now Richmond have the chance to play, but that free ball goes back over, so it's Staffs that are going to get the opportunity to swing. Izzy Roberts, high off the hands, but Richmond now with a go. They go to Warabi. Can she swing on the ball? She can, but it hits the top of the net and comes back on her side. The run for Richmond is broken, and now Staffs try and close this 2-point deficit.
This is a very crucial momentum point. I feel like the first, she needs to complete her job and serve in, and there she has.
Great serve. That left-handed float is really, really hard to deal with, isn't it?
Very difficult to deal with. And not only did she complete her job of serving in, but she got a point out of it as well, which shows how important serves are in momentum points like what they've just made. could have been 17-14, it's now 16-15.
Roberts serves, that one just goes too long, and Richmond's 2-point lead is restored.
Curse of the commentator, I spoke too soon.
Warabi serves, great float serve, just dipping and horrible to pass. And that lands without anyone being able to get a touch on it. Warabi again, served over, passed up well by Bradshaw. Go out to Simpson, no block from Richmond, but they're able to play here out in transition. Aklatar, free ball over, and the free ball wins the point. Just putting it into that little area of uncertainty in the middle of the court. If you don't know whose ball it is, it's going to be really hard to play from there.
Right in the fire pit. I think it's really good though that Roberts is trying to take charge of the defense and reception system. She's trying to move the players around to get out of this rotation.
Bradshaw, great pass up, go to Roberts out the back row, and that swing hits the top of the net and comes back on the Staffs side. Timeout, Newcastle Staffs. Richmond have a 5-point lead, and they are just 5 points away from taking a 2-0 lead in this one. It's interesting for many of these Richmond girls, they play National League Division 3 down there. They're used to playing 5-set games. Not many of this Newcastle Staffs team are playing in the NVL right now. It's going to take a huge effort for them to come back on this 5 sets. How tough is it going in from playing 3 sets all year to then having to play 5 in the final?
Well, you see, as an ex-Richmond player myself, I actually trained in the NVL 3, and that helped so much with stamina and endurance. But I think you do even lose some of that just going through 3-set games, because your body trains to get tired after that, and now you have to play potentially 2 to 3 more sets than you're used to. I think that there might be a physical advantage between Richmond's endurance and Staff's endurance.
Great serve into the seam. Simpson able to keep it alive, but its free ball is going to have to come over, and the free ball doesn't come over. Tough moments here for Richmond, for Staffs. Richmond 4 points away from the win in this second set. Warabi serving short, and again she's just having such a strong service run here. Amber Warabi making plays, whether it's in the front row or from the service line. Great serve again, and this one went long, went over the head of Evelyn Chadwick-Brown and landed on the baseline.
Very good service streak for number 27, Amber Warabi.
In comes 13-year-old Kimberly Cross for Richmond, and Warabi scores another ace. What a service run this has been. The game, it was close. The set was close when she came back to the service line, but it must be 9 or 10 in a row that she's come back there and been able to deliver for her team.
This is a perfect depiction of how important service is. It was 15-20, 5 points to catch up, and 5 points at the end of the set. It's now 24-15 on one serve.
Passed up well by Staffs. They have the chance here to go with Simpson, and Simpson finds the floor with the swing. Service up from Simpson. Passed in well by Bryant. They go to Tuncher, and Tuncher is able to score, put the point away, and Richmond take the second set 25-16. It started off close, but that service run from Amber Warabi just made it so that Staffs were unable to stay in that set.
So as a coach, you're 2 sets down, you can still come back, what are you telling the staff? What advice are you giving to the staff?
I think at this point you've got to keep it simple, right? You've got to try and find a way to get your best players into good situations where they can score. I'd also try and create as much chaos as I can on this Richmond side. Lots of tips short, lots of balls deep into the corner that we're giving them and keeping them in it. And like you said, they've got to be able to serve strong. That's the hardest part of the game, especially in these finals, is service reception. You have loads of time to think about it without knowing what's coming, right?
Yeah. It's even arguably harder on a women's net because since the net's lower, you have less time to move and adjust, whereas on a men's net, obviously the ball has to pass higher up. But then again, men then tend to go for topspin, so...
I don't think there's any arguing about it. I think it's you move any male libero onto a women's side net and have them pass float serves, they struggle.
We we had a practice match against the under-16 Boswell's boys, and even then we saw that float serves tended to go lower, so it was harder for them to pass and they weren't used to it. Or no, what's it called? A three-set sweep or reverse sweep.
I think Richmond come out and get this done. I'm not going to lie, they are playing phenomenally well right now, and they just got so much there to give. Looks like a change for Richmond. Lara Rigliano is coming into the game. She is replacing Amber Warabi, who, for me, is probably leading the MVP voting right now in this final. Number 27, Amber Warabi, but she drops to the bench here.
100%. I think number 27, like, for this being her debut, I honestly think she's playing an exceptional level of volleyball.
Newcastle staffs are unchanged on their side of the court.
I really like to see if Staffs is going to force Richmond into putting their starting players back on. I think that is your first aim when you see changes in the lineup. I think your first aim is to get the coach to have to put on their starting six.
We go again, Charlotte Keane, left-handed float serve deep, well passed by Hashimoto, and Gracie Owen Crompton absolutely deletes that ball.
No doubt about it. Might have to get a new floor after that one.
Sister Ali is in the crowd today, both involved in the England pathway. Serve from Fiali. They find Wyszynska, and Staffs go back-to-back with the middle kills to start this third set. Bella Bradshaw serves deep and just can't get that one to land in. Let off for Richmond as they go into a 2-1 lead. Bryant, float serves, well defended by Chadwick Brown. Tipped over by Wyszynska. Ball was up, was there a net touch? It doesn't matter because Richmond's free ball that went over lands out anyway.
I think we might see a set of dumps since there's no lib on court.
Quite possibly, Wyszynska with the serve, and it goes in, landing on the line. It definitely did. If you watch the body language of the Richmond players, you could tell that they saw that land on the baseline.
Very good serve, nice and deep.
Now, can she follow it up? And she does. Another great deep serve over the front court passer.
See, when you find a place that works, I think you should really start drilling in that place. No need to fix what's not broken.
You've got to be clinical in these kind of games.
You can hear the bench starting to get louder.
And again, she tries to hit that serve for the third time in a row, but it just rolls way too long. Owen Crompton to serve. Floats it onto Chadwick Brown. Good pass. They go to Izzy Roberts, whose swing is unable to be defended by Owen Crompton in the backcourt. Izzy Roberts could have a big impact on this game for Staffs. She's got the ability to go up and put the ball away. She hasn't had the best start to the game for her, but so much potential in that arm.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to the reception unit and being able to build those situations where you can utilise Roberts.
And there we see Richmond's reception unit going back with a great pass in, allows them to run the middle, and Tuncher hasn't been stopped all year and wasn't stopped there.
First time, number 7 serving for Richmond.
Rugliano, float serve, Dimpson swings over, Richmond chance to play. Ball blocked well by Mari Jones. Jones really starting to have a presence at the net here for Newcastle Staffs. She almost got a touch on that Tuncher swing a couple of points ago, and now she gets the roof block. Serve over and deep, passed well by Hashimoto. Ball goes out to Aklatar. They keep it alive, Tuncher. Free balls it over. Simpson, Keane, Murray Jones. Great swing off the side of the block. That ball's so hard to defend, isn't it? When that just hit the edge of the block and let it cause chaos.
100%. I really think that the lineup at the front court net for the Staffs is really working for them. I think that they're building themselves in situations where they can introduce the middle and introduce the opposite. I think it's working really well for them. It's reflected in the score 7-4.
Yeah, this is the chance. You know, Staffs have got to try and push themselves forward, get to a point where you can take this set, and then you never know what happens.
It's the best thing about volleyball. You can never draw, and anything can happen.
Both teams back out of the timeout. Newcastle Staffs to serve. Great serve, but just goes wide from Jess Simpson. It looked like it was about to drop in, but just couldn't get it to go. Let
really
off.
Like that Hashimoto followed it out. I think that's a very good thing to do. Make sure that it is out.
Little bit of a let off for Richmond there. Now they have a chance to close the gap. Serve from Aklatar, it's in. A call of out from the bench, not helping as Richmond close the score to 6-7. That one though definitely does go long. The bench, strangely enough, the staff stays quiet.
I think having a loud and supportive bench is so important to the game. I think it really pushes the players on the court.
Serve from Jones, well handled. Chance for Richmond to play here. Lola Bryant with the swing. Dug well by Simpson. Staffs keep it alive, but they have to give a free ball back. Here, Fiali with the setter dump and scores on that setter dump. Really clinical play here from Richmond setter. Served over by Tuncher. Goes out to Bradshaw. She's been trying to find that swing down the line all day. It just hasn't been able to quite come off. Serve passed by Izzy Roberts. Keane just sets the ball straight up and they have to give a free ball back. Fiali sets out towards Owen Crompton, and Gracie Owen Crompton with a really smart tip into the donut to win the point for Richmond. Richmond take the lead and the stress is starting to come through for Staffs.
Bit of miscommunication on the 10 there.
Free ball played over. Roberts set up from Keane. Vichinska goes to the swing but can't find the top of that block to get block out. And Richmond now take a 2-point lead. What happens now? Can Staffs close this, or are Richmond going to close this one out?
Of course they can. I think any comeback, it only ends when one of the scores is 25. Well, unless you're playing 2-point difference. But in general, it ends when it ends. Like, there's no saying that if it was 28, Staffs couldn't come back. I don't think that you should ever give up, because once you've told yourself that the game's over, the game is over. Volleyball is such a mental game. You need to believe in yourself and your skill and the training that you put in order to win. And I think a lot of that does come from the energy of the bench. I think the bench reflects what they're thinking, and I think that, you know, we should have some chants, some songs, something along those lines.
Now definitely Tincha back and ready to serve here for Richmond. Into the seam. Handled by Keane, and Izzy Roberts just can't get that ball to go over the net. Richmond lead 11 points to 8 here. Tincha served, is passed up. Bradshaw takes a swing. Richmond able to play in transition. They go to the middles again. And Gracie Owen Crompton again with the swing and score. Richmond's lead now 4 points.
I think we're seeing so much discipline from Tunsa right now. She is keeping her serve where it is, how it's working. That pass from the middle is very, very impressive. It was high, it was in the middle. A lot of discipline.
Pass from Staffs, they go to Simpson now. Played up here, Lola Bryant with the swing. That hit the top of the net band, so it will be a point to Newcastle Staffs. Can only touch the ball a maximum of 3 times before it has to go over the net. If it doesn't, and it gets touched the 4th time like it was there, the referees will call and give the point to the opposition. Serve from Keane. Taken well by Hashimoto. Tip comes in from Owen Crompton in the middle. Chance for Staffs to play, but Bradshaw can't get that swing to go where she wants it to. There's some dejected looks on the faces of the Staffs players right now. They are struggling to get through these moments. Service from Gigi Fiali. Chance for Keane and Bradshaw to play, but it's another hitting error from Staffs. This game is snowballing away from them very quickly.
I agree. I just thought when she served, I remembered that because there are 2 games going on at the same time, you can hear the whistles from the other game, and sometimes that can be a bit confusing. So it's little things like that that come with experience, come with playing these games and getting used to atmospheres like this.
As Gracie Owen Crompton once again getting the kill. She must have had the last 4 or 5 kills for this Richmond team. This time going away from her tendency, sees the block coming up towards zone 5 and just turning that ball back to zone 1. What a swing. Service error from Gigi Fiali there. Cuts the Richmond lead to 5 points. Staffs finding an out finally. Swing from serve flurry from Bella Bradshaw. Perfect pass from Hashimoto. And Owen Crompton again coming in. She's grown into this one. Real presence now at the net as Richmond stretch their lead to 6 points.
On perfect passes like that, you know that they are going to set Thompson. They are going to set Owen Crompton and try to get that kill.
Chadwick Brown with the pass.
Very good set.
Chance for Bradshaw to swing, and it just goes long.
Very good set, though. Very impressive. Back set to the pipe.
We see Vivian Burke coming in. Sometimes a libero, sometimes an outside. Obviously playing as an outside today. Going to shore up that passing unit potentially for Staff. 7 points to the gap. The referee hadn't blown the whistle to start the point. I think, again, that's what you're saying about dueling whistles. Makes it very confusing.
Yeah.
And Bryant can't get her serve to go after the break in play.
See, that's where you need to take your time and set and serve, not serve straight after the whistle.
Service over from Vichinska. Great scramble from Richmond. They just can't get it to go on the third touch. Kim Cross, the libero there, scrambling after that ball. Gap's 5 points. Richmond rotating their team. It's a dangerous thing to do in a final. Could just flip the momentum of the game and
100%.
make it really tough to come back.
We saw that.
Over and in.
We saw that yesterday as well. A similar thing in the under-16 girls finals, where in one of the sets they began with a different libero and a different outside. And what happened is that the starting lineup was forced back onto court, and they actually dropped a set and had to play an extra set in which they won 3-1.
Hashimoto with a good pass. Chance for Aklatar to play, and she gets the swing, gets the kill that her team needed, keeps that gap at 5 points. That's a key side out for Richmond as they are now just 7 points away from a national championship title. In comes Isabel Harrison in the setting position. Gigi Fiali goes to the bench. Gracie Owen Crompton with the serve down the line at Evelyn Chadwick Brown. Free ball back over from Newcastle Staffs. Harrison sets the high ball out. Good swing out there from number 16, Nahir Aklatar for Richmond.
Very good swing.
Dual substitutions coming in for Newcastle Staffs. Bella Bradshaw back into the game. Vivian Burke comes out of it. And it looks like Murray Jones is coming out of the game as well. And Daisy Delgado coming in for Newcastle Staffs.
I think something so interesting about Richmond is that they almost thrive when one middle is serving and when it's front court. Whereas most teams, they quite quickly have to go back to side out due to defense. But I think that there's a lot of clusters of points that are made when one middle is serving and one is front court.
The Richmond middles are great servers. These two are both really good servers and really dominant at the net. So it's a really interesting setup for them. They take a 7 point lead. Newcastle Staffs call their final timeout of the third set. It's going to take a monumental effort for anything other than a Richmond 3-0 win here.
Yeah, I think that's something so unique about the Richmond middles is the fact they also defend. There have been really good defensive plays from both Tunter and Owen Crompton. It will be an effort to come back from 2013. However, Richmond have come back previously from 9-21 on the last set. So nothing's impossible. The Staffs can come back from this.
Here we go. Gracie Owen Crompton ready to serve. Hits it, and it's in. It hits the corner of the court. A great serve that may have just nicked the end line. Owen Crompton back to serve again. This one goes short. Scramble play from Staffs. She steps in with a perfect free ball pass. And the chance for Aklatar to score. It's scrambled again. Staffs the chance to swing again. They go to Izzy Roberts. High hand swing. They're scrambling. Isabel Harrison with a great touch. There's way too many Isabels on this court.
Very good hustle from both sides of the court.
Fantastic point there. Some great scramble play from both Newcastle Staffs and Richmond in this one.
We've got
Staffs
three
take
Isabels.
the point back. Staffs to serve. Opposite, Izzy Roberts goes back. Left-handed float serve. Passed up by Hashimoto. Free ball given over by Rutgano. Keane up. Middle Delgado with the swing. Free ball almost coming back over. And it's a net touch from Staffs that ends the point. Isabel Harrison there showing the size that she has at the net. On that tight ball, able to go up and get the tip over. Cause that little bit of chaos, have that offensive play.
You see a lot of people, since these are such young players, a lot of people have asked Francesca Secchi, why not put Isabella Harrison as a middle? You know, you see that she has that physicality from a young age. But Secchi responded saying that she sees something she sees an advantage in having such a tall setter. For moments like that, where the pass is a bit too tight, she can just jump up and pop it over.
I mean, it's really interesting. You know, you see the game at the top level, and the setters are as big as anyone else on the court. So,
oh yeah,
you know,
100%.
As a country, we need to start moving towards that, and it's a really good thing to see. A wonderful set, a wonderful swing, a great side out from Richmond, and they move just 2 points away from a national championship title. MVP. Serve from Aklatar, passed up by Chadwick Brown. Goes to Bella Bradshaw and she finds the swing finally. She's been threatening it all day and just takes a little bit off the power and finds a really nice swing down the line. Staffs stay alive.
We may be seeing one of the biggest comebacks of the century, 23-16. 16-23, should I say?
Delgado, great serve, passed up well by Hashimoto. They go out to Lola Bryant. Good swing down the line, but a good defense from Staffs. Roberts keeps the ball in play. Harrison now with a chance to set, goes out to Bryant, slightly inside. Staffs keep it alive. Lovely long rally here. Good play at the net, and Bradshaw pushes last. In a duel, whoever pushes last wins the point. Bradshaw waited long enough and she's able to get that ball over and get the point scored.
That even confused me.
Delgado swinging, serving again for Staffs. That ball causing some confusion. These deep float serves are Staffs' way back into it. How long before we see a timeout from Francesca Secchi? As the buzzer goes off, Richmond head on over to talk it out, take a break. They've got some room, right? But it can go in a flash to lead in the 20s.
I mean, we've gone from 16-23 to 18-23. That's already such a different point to play from. Maybe she's looking for a coach's point here, a little serve in the net, serve out, but Darren Lewis always says in situations like this that you shouldn't want the other team to lose for you. You should want to go out there and make the points yourself. And I think that's a very good temperament to have towards situations like this.
Yeah. Daisy Delgado ready to serve for Staff. She serves deep. Pass is good from Hashimoto. Goes out to Bryant. Bryant takes a great cross-court swing to win that point. Just like you say, come out and win the point. Don't let the other team win it for you by losing it. Go out and make a good things happen.
That brings up match point, and with Tunstall serving and Owen Crompton front court, I think that's quite a strong lineup.
Pass is up and free ball coming over. Richmond pass it up. Harrison sets Gracie Owen Crompton, double block from Staffs. Looks like there's an issue with the server maybe. So we've had, looks like it was the wrong server for Richmond. In there, we're just, the table's just sorting things out. The Staffs will pick up the point as the referees will just give the teams enough time to sort themselves out, make sure they're in the right rotation so they don't lose more than a single point. Just taking the time to make sure they get it right here. We're back. Teams are in the right rotation. The score has been reset. It should be 19-24. It is. That score is now correct here as well. And it is championship point to Richmond. Surely it shouldn't be. Surely it should be 23.
No, because she was serving for the match.
Was she? Okay.
Yeah, so she was serving on 24, so there's been no point added.
Just making one final check to make sure we get things correct.
See, this is where the emotion handling comes in. Very stressful situation, 24-19. You can bring it back with this serve, but you need to get the serve in. And you can't be scared. You can't lollipop it over, put it high in the middle. You have to go with the serve that you know you're capable of doing. I wouldn't want to be in that situation, is all I'm saying.
She had a lot of time to think about it as well. Becomes really, really tough in these moments.
I almost think that could be a problem because by slowing down the game this much, you lose that adrenaline. You might start overthinking. Who is going back to serve for the Staffs?
It'd be Charlotte Keane, the setter.
Well, she's played a very exceptional game, so I do think that she'll be able to compose herself to the level to serve over the net. Okay. I believe that's everything sorted.
Okay, here we go. 24-18. It looks like.
And Richmond is serving. No?
So after all of that, it looks like there was an issue with the scorers table. So a let has been called. It wasn't actually the wrong server.
But didn't Gracie serve? Not Daphne. So in the last point, it was Owen Crompton to serve and Tunster in front court. But now Tunster's serving and Owen Crompton is front court. So
chaos here at the end of the under-15 girls national final. Tuncher serves, passed up by Chadwick Brown.
very good set.
Bradshaw swings into the net, and Richmond have won the under-15 girls national final 3-0. Completes a double win for them on the girls' side, winning the under-16 national final yesterday as well. Really good performance from Richmond in this, composed throughout. They used their good attackers, and without two really key players, two really big parts of this team, really big energy players in Snow Dixon and Aisha Morgul, they still were able to come out and get it done really efficiently, really.
I think that's so impressive. I think there's a lot of credit to be given to the setter and both Owen Crompton. I think Tunster deserves a lot of credit as well, and I do think Amber Warnaby, I think she deserves a lot of credit. I just think in general it's a very level team. I think they're all very impressive. Staffs as well. I don't think that they should be disappointed or obviously this isn't the outcome they hoped for. However, the level of volleyball, the level of dedication, and just everything that they've shown today on the court, the grit, I think it's so impressive, especially for their age range. And this is the start of a very, very long journey. In 3 years' time, these are going to be the players playing national finals in the under-18s. These are going to be the players that are going to be fighting it 5 sets out, like to the last fingernail every single time. And it's so exciting to see them developing now at this age.
And as the players shake hands, they finish off what needs to be finished off here for the game. We see the teams will now line up and collect their medals. We see Richmond athletes of all ages over there supporting, cheering on their teammates, some of the U16 finalists, some of the U18 bronze medalists as well over there. Some of them, this is their last time that they will be here supporting Richmond. But for these youngsters, their journeys are just beginning.
We even see some of the under-15 boys. We see some of the under-18 boys that will be playing later on today. Massive fan base for Richmond.
I think it's great to see two huge volleyball clubs, two cornerstones really of the UK volleyball scene in this final. Newcastle staffs probably know more for their work on the men's side of the game, but seeing the female side coming through, like you say, into this final, able to build around this group and hopefully take them through to an under-18s final in the future and support their National League setup, which I think is great to see. It's great to see the women's side of the game really growing in the UK over the last couple of years.
But it is teams like Newcastle staffs that go through more development. For example, Leeds Gores came up 1 year to the finals and won. And ever since then, they are now known as one of the biggest threats in the Volleyball Junior League. And this can be Newcastle Staff's future. Next year, oh, we have a birthday. Oh, it is the Libero.
Reika Hashimoto, who will absolutely hate being sung happy birthday
100%.
to in front of everyone
One
in the
of the
crowd.
shyest girls I've ever met. But as I was saying, Newcastle Staffs, they're going to be one of these big threats in a couple years' time. This is only the beginning.
A word about the referees. We didn't get a good chance to introduce them before the game. Cheryl Whittles and Anna Powell both getting their national final medals as referees. It's a great achievement for two young female referees. It's great to see the number of female referees on these women's finals across the whole weekend. We're seeing a real renaissance in female refereeing in this country over the last couple of years, and that will continue with great initiatives that Volleyball England run alongside what they do. Presenting the medals today to Volleyball England board members, elected director Brendan Fogarty and independent director Rowena Hackwood. It will be presenting the silver medals to Newcastle Staffs Izzy Roberts, Evelyn Chadwick-Brown, Bella Bradshaw, Mari Jones, number 12 Charlotte Keane, the setter, Jess Simpson, outside hitter, Sofia Vitsinska, the middle blocker, Daisy Delgado, who came on and had an impact in that third set, and then Vivian Burke. Coaches Will Roberts and Charlotte Keane. Newcastle Staffs, a great run to this final, just not able to get it done today.
Always next year.
And now time to give out to the winners. Brendan Fogarty with the medals. Aisha Morgul injured, but so key to this team being where it is today. Reika Hashimoto on her birthday gets a gold medal.
Birthday girl.
Snow Dixon, there another injured athlete, but has been hugely contributing to this team. Izzy Harrison, number 4 Gigi Fiali, Lara Ritigliano, Daphne Tuncher, someone that's had a really, really big impact this year. Lola Bryant switched to the outside today and had a really, really good game. Kimberly Cross, just 13 years old, stepping out there onto the floor. Nahir Aklatar, Amber Warabi, and Gracie Owen Crompton. Their coaches, Francesca Secchi and Roberta Bassotti, there with the team. And a phenomenal performance from the Richmond under-15 girls. And now time to award the MVP award. Cheryl, you made the pick. Talk us through why you picked Amber Warabi as the MVP.
I think that there was so many good players today to pick from. It was such a difficult decision to make. I think that I was so impressed with Amber because this is her first Grand Prix, this is her debut in the Junior League. She made such a big impact on the game, such a big impact for Richmond today. And not only that, but took the position of the pin players that are injured today. And I think that's such a hard thing to do because then you also have the expectation of how they usually play on your shoulders. So I think she had to feel really out of position, and I think she did it so well.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. She was outstanding today as Richmond lift the trophy. Captain Aisha Morgul lifting it nice and high. Thank you very much for joining us. This ends the coverage on Court 2, but there's a great game going on over on Court 1 in the men's Shield final. Legends Volleyball and Dark Star tied 1 set apiece. England internationals Chester Searle and Ben Lucas playing on the Legends team, whilst Dark Star, the plucky underdogs, coming out and taking a set. Is great to see in that one. Head on over there to join Michael Hanson-Morris and Jess Smith.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for watching. There's under 18 boys later and men's now. Bye bye.
Thank you very much for joining us here. We will be back next year.